Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm just gonna wait a little bit and wait for some people to jump in here. But we're gonna be talking about growing no-till and the benefits of growing no-till versus growing with bottled fertilizers like Remo's nutrients or advanced nutrients or um, Botanicare, whatever nutrient line you want to name out there, advanced nutrients. Um, you don't need any of those bottled nutrients at all, especially if you're growing this way. And I guarantee you're going to have so much better results. Um, and you're going to have some beautiful, healthy plants. Um, I have nothing against Remo. He has a beautiful garden. He's a really a great grower, man. Amazing grower, I should say. Um, but honestly, I'm not into bottled nutrients. And if his nutrients was organic, I might have considered it. But I mean, before I knew about the no-till, but now that I know about no-till, really that's all I've been doing. It's just is doing the lasagna tech. Now we're gonna be talking about lasagna tech. What is lasagna tech? Well, lasagna tech is when you're letting nature take its course and you're letting the nutrients in the soil, um, the or the dry amendments and everything that you add in there, um, take care of the whole plant throughout the whole photo period, and creating a huge mycelium web or micro web throughout the whole entire soil, or top layer of soil, um, or fungal dominant um, mycorrhizae, mycorrhizal, yeah, high, um, mycorrhizal web or microbe web. Actually, probably better just to call it microbe web. But the microbe web that spreads throughout the soil, and that basically is a huge um, highway for the fertilizer, or the highway. Sorry, it's a huge beneficial boost to your plants, not just to its its health, overall health. Its immune system, but you're adding you're just adding what it needs when it needs it, basically. Um, hey, what's going on, Coors? How you doing this evening? Just smoked some CBD asteroid, man. It's wicked. Got all the effects, but no heart racing, bad anxiety. 45% CBD. Damn. I never heard a strain that's CBD percent or 45% CBD. Or flour? Is this flour you're talking about, or is this concentrates? Is this if this is flour, man? I've never heard a CBD strain at 45%. Man, that is amazing. Um, I highly doubt though that I don't think that anyone has a CBD strain that high, to be honest. And I had to call bullshit if it is flour. But if it's concentrates, that's understandable. But I really don't think that's the flour would be that high at CBD. The most I've seen on CBD THC ratio is about it's around, like, I think it's like 27% CBD or something like that. 28% CBD in the flower strain. Oh, it's isolate. Right on. Oh, right on. Yeah, I kind of figure it's right around that range, right around 30%, 28 to 30%. That's what it is out here in the US of A. But I want to talk about no-till. We're back to talking about no-till. What you need to do is you need to add a layer of. Well, first things first. Before you start planting your plants, you gotta prepare your soil for planting. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add a layer of compost and nitrogen fix, not nitrogen, sorry, dry amendments, and then um, nitrogen fixing crops into the compost pile. And I'm talking about crab meal, bone meal, fish meal, um, alfalfa meal, azomite. You don't need dolomite lime because if your soil is creating enough microbes or has enough, is sorry, if your soil is producing or has enough microbes, you will not need to pH your soil because it automatically pHs itself. So you could throw in water that's a little bit high and it will balance itself out. So, but what you're going to do is you're going to add the layer of the dry amendments with the compost, mix it in, kind of mix it in really well, kind of make sure it's like nice and even throughout the pot. And then you're going to add the nitrogen fixing crops, mix it on in. And then after mixing in your nitrogen fixing crops, let those nitrogen fixing crops like fench and clover, let that grow out for a while, then cut it down. And then after cutting down the nitrogen fixing crops, what you're going to do is you're going to do this all over again. And you're going to keep doing this throughout the winter and fall, or sorry, the fall and winter. And when you do this, you're creating a humus layer, which is going to produce like a really high microbe content. And it's going to make your plants explode. Now, the positive benefits of this is you save a lot of money because it's very cheap to do no-till in comparison to buying bottled fertilizers. You can spend thousands of dollars on bottled, hundreds and thousands of dollars on bottled fertilizers, but you'll be wasting your money and your time because with this, uh, because with the bottled nutrients, I mean, um, you're getting the nutrients, you're giving you're giving the plants the nutrients that they need, but you're not giving them everything that they need. They're still needing a lot more, a more wider spectrum of different microbes and different rock dusts like green sand and azomite and volcanic rock dust. These things will be great for the microbes to eat and will benefit the microbes in the soil. Secondary, or the second thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to add a layer of hay as well. So this is going to add a covering, and this will also add insulation, but you want to do this after you plant your plant in the soil. But also, if you get like I think they are saying wheat barley, I'm not sure. I have to re-look up the Mindo Dope video or Mindo Dope's lasagna tech video. This is where I learned it from, is watching Mindo Dope and watching Minnesota Nice and seeing how they do things and trying to do the same thing. But yeah, I think they use wheat, barley, hay, and with that it comes with seeds, so that way you'll be able to regrow your hay in the pots. So that's a benefit, or I should say that does benefit the farmer, because at least you don't have to worry about hay. You know, that'll be a one up because you save a lot more money. Hay, it's not too expensive down here. I mean, for $20 you get a nice sized bale, but honestly I'd rather save my money, not spend it on hay. and just plant some seeds and chop my own, and or chop it down, dry it out, and then add it to the plants when needed. But um, but yeah, you're gonna keep doing this throughout the fall and throughout the winter. And then come springtime, of course, you're gonna plant, depending on where you're at. If you're in Southern California, you're gonna plant in late February, early March. If you're in Northern California, you're going to be planting in June, and if you're like in Washington State, June, July. Um, but it depends on where you're at. But I like to start here in Southern California. I like to start around January, February, so that way I get an early start. And the weather's still a little bit nippy down here, but it's just warm enough to where they stay alive, and they're not gonna get stressed out by the cold too much. But plant them in the ground. What I like to do is pre-veg them out a good 4 to 6 feet tall indoors, and then take them outside, put them straight into their pot, and let them get nice and big and bushy. I'll do extremely aggressive. Extremely aggressive topping. I will make sure that I also bend the plants over. I lollipop, low stress train them. I bring them down, and I'll start tying the branches down. I mean, so that way I can open up the middle of the plant, so that way the inner notings are exposed. And then what I'll do is I'll just keep feeding it compost tea, and I'll add the dry amendments and nitrogen fixing crops throughout the whole summer, and even through the actually right around when we get into the fall season, when we get into flower season. I still will add the not nitrogen fixing crops, sorry, the dry amendments, but it will be different types of dry amendments. These are going to be the flowering dry amendments, or actually the pre-flower, then flower dry amendments, in order to start the flowering process and get them started up. And then after getting them started up, then I'll just continuously give them the flowering dry amendments and compost, and then flowering compost teas. And this will add extra beneficial microbes to the soil, but also will boost the flower growth as well. I definitely would look into Boogie Brew compost tea. That's one of my favorite compost teas of all time. I use it all the time in my garden for my tomatoes and for my peppers and all the other veggies here in the garden, as well as my cannabis plants. Buzzing Buddha and Uncle Herb, they ship to the US, I think. Oh, right on. I gotta check them out for sure, man. Because I'm looking for different CBD companies to go through to get my CBD flower and concentrates, as well as CBD seeds if that's possible. Try to grow CBD back here, or in the garage, and that'd be really awesome to be able to have some beautiful CBD plants alongside with my higher THC strains, and my patients that I'm growing for, because I personally am or this farm here is is growing just for Proposition 215 SB420 patients. I got 4 patients in my co-op currently, but I'm trying to work on getting some more. A bunch of them backed down and took their cards down and left the co-op. But currently everything here is within Proposition 215 SB420, and my patients love the higher THC strains, but personally I'm not into it. So, or I mean, I'm into it. I mean, I guess I could say I smoke it, but I mean, it's just like I try to moderate how much I smoke. I try not to get too high because I got stuff to do. I got things I gotta get done. So, just enough for the back pain and help relax me a little bit. I have nothing wrong with cannabis or have nothing against cannabis. Um, I'm not at all a teetotaler or anything like that, or someone who's a prohibitionist or anything like that. I'm actually a 100% advocate for cannabis use. But back to gardening and farming. If you really want to benefit your no-till garden, the best thing to do is making sure that you have the right compost. Now, personally, I like to use bee-used compost, but I heard uh, that Soil King has a lot better compost, and I'm gonna try his compost next year. I'm gonna ask to see if he ships to out here to Southern California, and if he does, how much would it cost to ship the same amount that Mendo Dope got for his no-till garden, for um, or for the video that he produced on no-till, that big old pile that he had. Um, I'm kind of curious the price for all that because I would like to get the same amount myself, just for this whole entire garden, but also for my mother, who is growing over there in her own little garden. She has 2 raised beds, and I want to fill both her raised beds with some really beautiful, high grade compost, and help her garden around, or help her garden to produce more better tomatoes, better corn. Her corn came out really not too good this year. Um, really a lot shorter than usual, but I figure if I get some of I figure if I get some of Soil King's compost, that all those corn plants are going to grow up to 12 to 15 feet tall. At least I'm hoping it'll grow about 12 to 15 feet tall. But like the typical Iowa corns, like they grow super tall, and like they have some beautiful thick corn husks. But I'm gonna look into that, and I'm gonna find out how much it'll cost to get some compost, and switch things up from BU's compost to the Soil King's compost. But I'm a huge fan of Soil King, and huge fan of Mendo Dope. I definitely would recommend checking out both their channels. Mendo Dope and Soil King are both some of the best growers in Northern California, hands down. Like they have everything on lock, like their whole entire garden on lock. And I hope one day I can be at Soil King's level, and I can be able to produce some beautiful plants like him. Hey, what's going on, Stephen Martin? How are you doing this evening? Another site. Hey, hold on. I hope you're proud of those plants. They're wicked. Hell yeah, man. These plants are. I'm very, very proud of my plants. I'm very proud of my garden this year. This has been the most productive year I've ever seen, but I can imagine how it's going to be next year when I'm using Soil King's compost. And I'm doing 100% Mendo Dope no-till style. And I'm starting out early. I'm going to get shit done around November is when I'll start the no-till. And I'll start adding the fench. I'll add the clover and all kinds of other nitrogen fixing crops. I'll add the crab meal, bone meal, fish meal, azomite, the mycorrhizae powder, um, green sand. I'll be adding all that shit to my soil in order to boost the overall potency of my soil and fertility of my soil and produce some amazing Northern California style plants. Me and you need to put weight on, work out, and smoke more CBD. Definitely, man. Your back garden, like a forest, loving them plants, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Another site is Hemp Hash, Bud Mother. I never heard of that place, but I'll check that place out as well. Oh shoot, I forgot to check out what's her name's video last night. Shit. I'm sorry, I didn't get your lipstick. Sorry, lipstick, I did not get to watch your video if you're watching this. I'm gonna go ahead and go back and click your channel, and I'm going to go check out your videos. I apologized and went to bed depressed as hell. I went to bed early because I was depressed. So I was like, fuck it, man, I'm just gonna go to bed, wake up in the morning, and do work. And hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. But I'll check that out for sure, man. I'm really, really sorry about that. I try. When I say I'm going to do something, I need to start doing it. I need to stop just talking this shit and just do it, you know? If I say that I'm going to watch your channel and check your channel out, I'm going to check your channel out. And if I say I'm going to build a seed company and I'm going to have a website for it and all that stuff, I'm going to get that shit done. I'm going to get on it, man. I'm going to be able to send my seeds from all over the USA, Canada, Mexico, even the UK, and France, you know, like all over Europe, you know, and try to expand my shit instead of just talking shit. So, I mean, I inspired other people to make seed companies of their own, Canada Genetics. You know, you check them out, www.canadagenetics.net, I believe. Gunner 420, man, I inspired him because I started making my own seeds. He was checking out my channel, and he really dug what I did, man, and he decided he wanted to breed his own strains and make his own varieties. And from there, I gave him actually my fruits and berries. I gave him purple flat top, and I gave him one other strain, I think. And he took those strains and crossed them out, and he made all kinds of new varieties of genetics that were extremely high grade, top shelf stuff. And from there, he went and made some other genetics. He obtained other strains, from other growers, other breeders. He bred those strains out, and then from that, he made a whole load of different varieties of strain. I definitely recommend checking them out. Canada Genetics. This dude has some of the best genetics in Southern California. Hands down, the best genetics in Southern California. And I would recommend dang, this thing is really bad at focusing. Definitely recommend the Gorilla Smash. Because that Gorilla Smash, man, that stuff looks insane. When I grew it for a little while. Then I had some issues, and then plants ended up dying on me, so I wasn't able to keep them. But over time, though, I ended up losing them because of the spider mites. And the other pet, I had what else? I had white flies, gnats. But yeah, I had some bad luck with my soil back when I was growing Canna genetics strains, and I wish I would have used better soil. To be honest, I wish I would have gotten a brand new bag of Fox Farm, brand new bag of Sunshine, mixed it up really well, added a little bit of dry amendments, including uh, the, the azimites and the green sands and the mycorrhizas, and as well as Grokashi, and I would have just did it the right way the first time and grew some um, beautiful big plants, but I didn't do that, so that was my fault. But Canna Genetics, I'm sorry, if Gunner 420, if you're watching this, man, if you could donate some seeds, man. I actually lost your address, so I have to get your address again, man. But if you give me your address, dude, I'll guaranteed I'll ship you some seeds, and you can be able to try my stuff out, and I'll be able to try your stuff out, and that'd be really awesome. Oh, I hear a helicopter nearby. I hear the rotors going off. Sounds really close. It's like a block away or so. It's what we farmers have to deal with every year. We gotta deal with the helicopters, thieves, weather, time. We gotta deal with all that shit. Farming ain't easy, especially when you got the popo breathing down your neck, and hovering over your garden. Shit. Man, CBD got me well high. Nice, man. Uh, but I didn't think CBD really get. I know that CBD doesn't get you high though. At least that's what I hear. It's non-psychoactive, so you might got a little bit of THC in there. Well, when I say plants, they're more like monster trees. Yeah, they are, man. These plants are. At least a couple of them are reaching up to 10, close to 9 feet, 9.5 feet. Got one that's about 9 1/4, and some of these others are eights and sevens and fives and threes and fours. So I got some beautiful plants, though. That is for sure. Very, very impressed with this year's crop, and I'm hoping it continues this way, and we continue to grow some beautiful, healthy, lush green plants. Man, they don't yellow out like they sometimes will, or like previous seasons they did. But yeah, no-till. Like I said, going back to no-till. Getting off subject here. You'll save so much money. And you'll be so much more happier with no-till. I definitely recommend it. Um, I'm gonna start making more videos about doing no-till gardening, and I'm going to try to be more informative and more detailed about what I'm doing and how I'm growing my plants and how I'm taking care of them, and talk about how much more happier they are, you know, in comparison to doing with the fertilizers. Although, like I said, I have nothing wrong with bottled fertilizers, but if you want to save your money and save the environment, because of course these bottled nutrients are contained in plastic containers, so every time that you buy a bottle of nutrient or bottles of nutrients, you're contributing to pollution and waste, and that's not good. So that's why I would recommend no-till, because you're helping the environment so much more uh, than if you would, in say, if you were using bottled nutrients in your parents. Um, and like I said, it just saves a whole lot more money, and it saves so much more time. You don't have to mix the nutrients up and weigh it out. So many teaspoons or tablespoons, milliliters per liter. You don't have to do any of that. All you gotta do is just lightly sprinkle all your dry amendments on the soil. Add the compost, or first you're gonna add the compost, then you're gonna add the dry amendments, then you're gonna add nitrogen fixing crops. After that, you're gonna let your nitrogen fixing crops grow and get nice and big and bushy and full and thick. Then after that, you're gonna chop it down and then add the compost again, dry amendments on top of that, chopped up, or ground it up. If you got one of those little electric hedgers, you can hedge it down, or a gas hedger, you hedge it down and grind it up a little more fine, and add the compost right up over that, and then add the dry amendments and more nitrogen fixing crops. Keep doing this about 4 or 5 times, maybe more, depending on how many times you can do this throughout the fall and the winter season. That means from the end of Croptober, Cropvember, or the beginning of Cropvember to the middle of Cropvember, all the way going to March, or February, March. Basically, however many chops you can do and how many times you can cover it up and re-add the nitrogen fixing crops and dry amendments. That'll be beneficial to they'll be very beneficial to the beginning stages of growth, the beginning of the season. And another thing that I've noticed is adding some bat guanos. I know some people don't like bat guanos and they are against it, but I personally like using bat guanos because it's high nitrogen and it'll provide plenty of nitrogen for your plants, but it's also organic and natural. And it has so much other microbes and other good stuff that's in it, or not microbes, sorry, other good beneficial elements in it that are good for the plants. Another thing I like to do is also add in worms. You get about 5-gallon, maybe even 10 5-gallon buckets full of worms, and just throw them in your. I'd say you should just do about 15. If you got a 100-gallon smart pot, just do 15 gallons, 20 gallons worth of worms, and that'll fill up the whole. Your whole entire pot will be literally a living soil, and it'll do all the work for you and provide the bat guanos, or not the guanos, sorry, the worm guanos, the worm castings, and will save you a whole lot of money. Cheers. Another thing that'd be great to do for for your garden, for my garden, is start getting wood chips and start composting wood chips and leaves, and add that compost to your soil, and that will add even more fertility to the soil, and microbes and beneficial bacteria that'll help your plants thrive in a condition that is, especially for down here in Southern California, particularly an insane hot climate that demands um, a lot of maintenance and work. Like not maintenance and work. Sorry, a lot demands the right amount of nutrients and care. And yeah, it's a lot of work to do no-till farming. I'm not going to say it's a lot easier, but it's definitely a lot better and more productive than bottled nutrients. I still got all my bottled nutrients, by the way. I haven't thrown them away, but um, I'm gonna try to maybe use them up. I've been talking about just doing a small fertilizer grow, and after doing that, after getting rid of all my fertilizers, and I've used them all up, never buy any more ever again, and just stick to no-till from now on, indoors and outdoors. But you'll see. I mean, to be honest, there's a debate going on about bottled nutrients and how you can produce equally as beautiful and productive plants as no-till, and how these bud shiners are making your plants just trike up like crazy and all this other stuff. But I can tell you this, that you really don't need trike shiners or any of that. All you need is just what nature provides, and that's about it. What time is it right now? 9:01. All right, so I'm gonna have to end this live stream, but I'll talk to you guys later. Actually, no, I'll stop it at 40 minutes. That's fine. So 2 more minutes. I didn't want this to be too long. People say CBD don't get you high, but it does. I'm super high, but my obviously can't contain THC. Yeah, it more likely does. I heard back for years from trying CBD flower because I didn't think it would be good for me. But I'm amazed. Yeah, you know what, man? There's one. I could tell you this, man. So many people have benefited from CBD, not just for their ailments, for like anxiety and for pain relief, but and also insomnia relief. But it's just all in all, you just getting a more you feel like you're more balanced. Your body's balanced out. It's a great regulator. To keep your body nice and healthy, the immune system boosted. But yeah, as for getting high off it, man, like shit, it gets you high, man. Like I try this stuff out myself. I'm smoking some CBD OG Kush now, 24%. Nice. Oh yeah, man. Always love those OGs. Whoever says CBD don't get you high is lying. No, it's debatable, man. It's debatable. People are different. Yeah, you know what? Same here, man. I go for just the terpene profiles because some of the CBD strains, all they have is that really it's got that cherry flavor, kind of like how cherry pie tastes like a little bit. Um, I don't have nothing wrong with cherry pie, but it's just, I don't want to be smoking that all the time. So that's why I try to look for different flavors, other CBD strains that have different terpene profiles, because each terpene works differently and it has different medicinal benefits. Some are good for anxiety, some great pain relief, and they each have their own positive benefits, like I said, and we shouldn't count them out. We got to add, always make sure that we have plenty of terpenes in our daily diet and be able to keep that cannabinoid system going. Eyes mountain without heart racing and anxiety. Oh yeah, you need to get some of that, man. Try blueberry pie. I'll definitely try that strain out, man. If I see some blueberry pie or CBD blueberry pie, I'll definitely pick some up, and I'll get myself like an ounce or a half ounce to try out. Yeah, exactly, man. Um, I'm trying to find something that's not hemp flavored, and that's just that has actual like tastes like actual cannabis, like OG Kush or Bubba, or like Chem Dog or like Sour Diesel. I want CBD strains that actually taste instead of just tasting like regular hemp, or regular cannabis. And like I said, it's all about those terps. Terps matter because they play a huge part um, for the human or the human brain and human body, and it does so many great things, and you can't exclude them out. I think it's just wrong to exclude terpenes or to not have enough. I mean, hey, what's going on, John McDonald? I heard. How you doing this evening? I heard no-till methods sold out to Monsanto. They now own the patent on no-till. I don't know about that. I never heard that, but that's something to look into. But really, I don't know how you can patent no-till, to be honest, because I mean it's just basically adding different ingredients. You're adding the down to earth um, bone meal, fish meal, kelp meal, alfalfa meal. Then you're adding the bat guano, worm castings. You're adding the azomite, the green sand, and that's basically it. And the nitrogen fixing crops are all no-till, or sorry, non-GMO. So I don't see how Monsanto could, to be honestly, um, try to patent no-till when really there's no way you can patent it in the first place. You're really just basically have to patent down to earth fertilizers, because down to earth, I believe they haven't sold out yet to Monsanto, but and I'm hoping they don't. But those are the ones that I use, or the brand that I use for my no-till gardening is down to earth fertilizers, and they work really great. I love down to earth, and I've used them for a little while now, and I like what they do to my plants, and I'll continue to use them until Monsanto buys them off and they sell out, and then I'll just have to search for something else. No-till really is it's a beautiful thing because you're letting, like I said, nature take its course and letting the plants grow themselves. Like all you gotta do is just throw water on them and compost teas. That's it. And these plants will grow, 10, 12 feet, 15 feet tall. So if you're looking for a way to grow your plants cheap and very efficiently and effectively, switch to the Lasagna Tech Mendo Dope, Mendo Dope's Lasagna Tech no-till style gardening. You will not be disappointed by this. I mean, I'm getting some of the best results that I've ever seen in my life or my whole entire grow career. I've had some great grow seasons in the past, but this is the best outdoor grow season that I've had, period, because of Mendo Dope's Lasagna Tech no-till. I'm so glad that I found their video about Lasagna Tech, and because if I didn't know about their method, I would still be using bottled nutrients for my outdoor gardening and indoor gardening. So mad shout out, mad respect, big ups, bless up to Mendo Dope and the Mendo Dope boys. I mean, and Minnesota Nice. Mad, keep up the great work and keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep blasting not blasting. Keep producing some amazing records. I love your music, man. I listen every time I'm in the garden. I'm listening. It's all worth it. Yeah, I'm listening to "It's All Worth It" in the end, and I'm listening to "One Plant, One Season," um, "The Mountains." I love, I love all those tunes, man. My favorite tunes to garden with, but definitely check them out. Mendo Dope. Um, I'm proud to be a no-till farmer. I'm proud to be growing some massive trees, and I'm really happy that I followed through on the Mendo Dope style gardening, and yeah, man, it's all worth it in the end. All the work that we put in, all that time that I put in, man, coming out here, pulling leaves, giving them compost teas, throwing out some more dry amendments of compost, nitrogen fixing crops, giving them a compost tea fuller feed. Shit, farming ain't easy, like I said before. This shit's not a fucking cakewalk, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I smoke my weed with tobacco. Imagine how stupid high I would be if I smoked pure weed. Oh, yeah, man. Shit. You'd be high as a damn kite, man, for sure. Actually, you ever tried backwoods? I definitely would recommend. I know I'm not a big tobacco fan myself, but if I do smoke tobacco blunts, I'm choosing backwoods only because the backwoods, I gotta say, have amazing taste, and they smoke really smooth and slow, and it certainly complements the cannabis, depending on what cannabis you have, though. But certain cannabis, I'd say, complements that backwood very nicely. So definitely would recommend backwood blunts if you could find them out there in the United Kingdom. I believe Philip Morris produces them. Some very exquisite blunts, I should say. Um, Better than owls. I mean, I smoked owls back in the day, man, and I used to roll up some fatty ass owls with some dank chronic, and I gotta say that is harsh on my throat, or was harsh on my throat, and I really didn't like how it smoked. It was not smooth at all. Um, but in comparison to the owls, this is like on another level. Like this is so much more smoother, so much more tastier, and more better. If you're a tobacco smoker, I definitely would check out backwood blunts. I do smoke it pure sometimes, only when out of tobacco. Oh, I see. Yeah, man. I mean, I used to do that back in the day when back when I used to smoke the ciggies. I used to smoke those Marlboro 27 blends. I'd mix my 27 blend with my cannabis, and I'd kind of do things in a little European style, and add a little hash to it as well. If I had hash on deck, and that shit would get me hella high, man. Like I would get lit as fuck to the point where I'm like nodding in and out, like sleepy. I gotta go to bed and take a nap for like a couple hours, and then raid the fridge. I'm a crazy weed smoker, always have been for years, and I've smoked way too much THC. Hell yeah, man. You're feeding that endocannabinoid system, man. You're feeding it well. If you think back, how many spliffs, bongs, you name it, I think, man, all that I'd smoked, god dang. Man, I know, man, like if I can count all the blunts I smoked, all the owls, all the backwoods, man, all the times that I rolled up some European joints or spliffs, shit, man, that shit would, that'd be a lot. And I'd have a lot of fucking tobacco added to it, man, that'd be a lot more than an average smoker would smoke. I was smoking like Snoop Dogg, man. Smoke weed every day. But yeah, man. Like, if you're into tobacco, man, I don't even know like if they have them in the UK, but I'd also check out the Frontos, man. It's just a pure tobacco leaf or a large tobacco leaf. It's about I can't hold on. It's about this wide or this big and about this wide. It's just a big old leaf of tobacco, man. People roll up some insane blunts out of them, man. But I definitely would check out that as well. It's 100% natural tobacco, 100% organic, depending on who you're getting it from. But it's some of the best blunt wraps that you can get on the market. And it's very popular. It's very popular on the East Coast in the Bronx. Everyone's talking about rolling up Frontos or Fronto blunts out there in New York City and out in Jersey. But I definitely would check them out. That's Fronto, Fronto, and they actually have a website. You can get big ass. You can actually get a big ass bag of Frontos, like 12 pack for like $30 or like $40 or something. It's a sick deal. There's my rod. God damn it. Oh, that's really rod. But yeah, man, those Frontos, man. I don't gotta get me a Fronto, man. Now talking about these motherfuckers. Those fucking things, man. I haven't smoked me a Fronto in like years. Oh, right on, man. It's like it's gotten worse and worse. Yeah, I know, man. Same here. What am I smoking on? I'm smoking on some SFV OG Kush, 5-star full mount bubble hash from Helidanko, and this stuff is at 681.7 76 milligram or 76. Yeah, 681.76 milligrams or 68.18% THC. Total CBD is 2.36 milligrams or 0.21% CBD. So this is a very low CBD, high THC extract. But I'm not going to smoke too much of it. I'm just going to take a couple hits and then, or a hit and then put it down. So. But yeah, shit. Yeah, I love this concept of how people are just waking up to reality. They're waking up on the whole bottled nutrients is a waste of time and money, and getting on the no-till bandwagon, no-till wagon, and I want to see more and more people get rid of their bottled nutrients and just switch to no-till. That'd be amazing. Cheers. Could you imagine if everybody stopped buying bottled nutrients and they just went no-till? The environment would be so much more better. Less bottles in the ocean, less plastic waste in the ocean and on the streets and in the dumps, you know. But I would have, or we would see. Sorry, not I would have. What the hell am I saying that? But we would have a happier ecosystem and just happier growers in general, happier farmers because they're using something that's 100% natural and organic rather than chemical. And even if it's organic bottled fertilizers, you're still, like I said, what's going to happen to that plastic bottle once it's out? You know, you're going to toss it out. It's going to go to a dump. It's going to contribute to the pollution. So that's why I don't like bottled nutrients. Cheers. Or the one reason why I don't like bottled nutrients. And I can achieve equally as good results, if not better results, than bottled nutrients. And I could produce a superior product and not have to worry about spending $30, $40 a bottle of nutrients. and I have to buy several different bottles because if it's like a part system, I'd have to buy multiple bottles to make it work. Um, and if I'm just trying to add things that'll help the plant, like like um, CalMag or something like that, I have to add that to it. That's gonna, which will add more, more, or that adds, or it will take more money out of my pockets to be able to do that. Cheers. I'm off to the site later to take a few plants. It's hard to carry and compost in that. Uh, have to walk around 3 miles. Dang. Well, you could do is just get a dolly, man, and just dolly it on over. That's what we did when we did or me and a friend of mine did a gorilla grow out at Walnut Creek. We just brought a dolly. We brought our fertilizers. We brought our soils and our compost, and hauled it all the way to the grow site. And then later on, we brought our seedlings that we grew here in the garage actually, and under some CFL lights. We brought them in I think it was like 2 boxes. No, it was 2 boxes actually, and we only had like 20 or 30 plants total. We didn't want to bring too many. We were trying to stay discreet, and on the low. But man, it was a lot of work having to carry all the compost, all the soil, the fertilizers. We had 5 gallon bucket. We had to dip the water in the creek and water each individual plant. And, I mean, it was just a hell of a lot of work to take care of for just a 20 plant crop. I was hoping that I would have more help from other friends, but I didn't get any help other than one friend that I was with who was pitching in on the soil and pitched in on taking care of it, taking care of the crop. I just take 50-liter bags in a backpack, one bag at a time. All right, on. Yeah, that'll do it. You just backpack it in. It's a little bit more work because you got to do more loads. You got to bring one bag in and then haul it back, or go back and grab another bag, haul it back over at the grow site, and then go back and grab another bag. That's why I like getting a dolly myself, or that's why we got a dolly when we grew at Walnut Creek, so that way we weren't taking so many loads back and forth and weren't being. Because that's another thing I'd be careful with, man, because if they see you going back and forth too many times in the grow site, they're going to figure out something's up. So try to be as discreet as you can. When you go to your site, don't go more than twice a week, because any more than that will cause too much of an alarm. And you don't want to go to your site and then leave, and then there's some hikers coming down the road, and they see you leaving the site. That's another thing I always be careful of when I'm taking off from the grow site. Is I would always make sure because we were right by a trail, sadly and surprisingly, and we could have easily gotten caught or easily had our crop ruined by some assholes. But we walked up to the trail, and then before we got to the trail, we had one of my buddies would, or my buddy would go up to the trail first, take a peek to see if anyone's around, then signal me to come over if it's clear. If there's not, he would just run back or try to hide behind a bush or something. Try to try to camouflage himself the best he can to keep from being seen. That's the one thing that when I was growing at the creek really sketched me out, is just having to leave the place to go to the creek with the bags of soil. We had to pass a monastery, which they had cameras at the monastery, and there was a booth actually, and there was actually a guard at the booth, and he could see everything that's going on, everyone that's walking the trail. It's pretty obvious from where he's standing at and where he's sitting at. And we would go right past him. And just as soon as we get up to the monastery walls and we get up to the cutoff to the trail, we just start running like hell through that trail or past the monastery guard box or guard shed, and just run through the bushes or through the bush and down the trail over the creek, and then over up a hill and then down and then crossing another creek, and eventually you get to the spot. But yeah, it's a hell of a journey. It was a hell of a lot of work just to get all that done. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, but I hope everyone has a great evening, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, much love, much respect, peace. And also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SoCalHippie420, SoCalHippie420, Hashman, and Hashman_seeds420. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm going to be on Snapchat hopefully soon. I want to get myself a Snapchat account or or just get a damn, I can't think of the name of the site at the moment. Periscope. Hoping to get on Periscope. But see you guys then. Peace.